Airdrops. We all want them, but most of the time they're just absolutely rubbish. But this project may potentially give you something nice, fat, and juicy. You can earn yield at the same time. It's on a blockchain that people are gravitating towards, and I think it would be worth putting some time and effort to. This is what it is. This is Project X. They are first of its kind DEX on HyperEVM. So HyperEVM, of course, being connected to Hyperliquid. They've got $40 million of TVL in 2 days. And that's kind of quite a bit for Hyperliquid, to be perfectly honest. There's billions in other protocols, but for something really brand new, it is worthwhile. The website is clean, and I say this as nice as possible. Hyperliquid EVM dApps have not had like great branding or anything. I mean, it's strange, but this looks clean. It looks as though they've built some stuff before, and it's kind of just a vote in the right box for me. Now, the other cool thing is the fact that it's Project X. It's not Hyper Project or HyperX, or they're not playing on that name. In terms of the team, we don't have a fully doxed team. I don't think we've got a doxed team at all, to be perfectly honest. However, the team is 100% self-funded, which is bullish for the lack of VC integration. They earn some fees, they make some money, they can give you a nice fat airdrop if they do well. They're hiring aggressively, blah, 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 blah. You can see what they've got here. But these people here, the artist, animation, Bobby, the contributors, but these people are unknown. They're not doxed. As for the fees, around about 20% is what normally goes to the protocol. Their fees have gone for a lower system, so 86% goes to the LPs and 14% goes to them. And as for audits, Project X is a direct Uniswap fork with no new or modified logic. Modification here is a fee switch, which they have gone and got audited. Now, why are we covering this? Well, it all relates to growing TVL. The TVL that's been happening on Hyperliquid and the EVM, which is not super smooth, but once again, airdrops are nice. It has been growing steadily. It has been attracting capital. But the biggest thing, of course, is a points program. Points are earned by providing liquidity trading and inviting friends. Now, they've got a mission, and their mission is to be the best place to trade across the entire EVM ecosystem, where you can go and trade basically everything. It says, imagine one place where you can trade any coin on any EVM chain plus Hypercore. That is what their vision is. And as I mentioned before, in 48 hours, they've managed to grab 40 million in TVL. This is very important because there's only a couple of protocols that are on HyperEVM that have anywhere near this amount of money. So let's do a quick little guide. Firstly, I do have a referral, Seb Monty, link is below. You end up getting a points boost. So I've got a little bit of a points boost. This is a tutorial wallet, and all it is, of course, it's about liquidity providing. Now, liquidity providing means impermanent loss, which we've covered in plenty of videos. You can go search the channel for that. What I would want to go for, of course, is something that is making us decent APR, of course, like UPump and Hype, and also potentially getting us lots and lots of points. So we could go with something like this, UPump and Hype, and we can go and set a price range. You can see that the more narrow you go, the higher your APY, but there's no way that I want to go that low, to be perfectly honest. And I've got no UPump here. But let's say as a tutorial, we go with $22.91 worth of Hype. So we want around 4,070. So we'll go ahead here and we'll go and get some UPump. More on UPump in a second. Grab some UPump and we want like 0.5-ish, something like that. Maybe 0.48. That'd be fine. And confirm. Transactions going through, not super fast, but decently fast for an EVM. We're good here. Go ahead, preview the deposit, confirm the deposit, and confirm. And then confirm the transaction again. Then we've got our portfolio here. As I mentioned before, when you use a referral, you get a points boost. So I've used this random person's off Twitter, but use mine. And then we can go ahead and we can claim our yield. And we can do whatever we want with that. It's all about LPing. You have to be good at LP. You just can't necessarily set and forget. Of course, you can, if you want something more lower risk, you can go into liquidity like this. And the yield's really low. The fees are really low. But you could go with like a US dollar coin pair like this one if you wanted to. Or if you're bullish on two assets, you could go with something like Hype and UBTC. Just if you're going to deposit it purely for the idea of maybe getting an airdrop, you're going to have to bring this out quite a bit further, which means your APY is going to be quite a bit lower. Now, Lamboland did say LPing on HyperEVM is a bigger deal than most people think. This will become increasingly obvious as Unit tokenizes more assets, heavily Project X coded. Essentially, anything that Unit goes ahead and actually tokenizes, they could add to an LP. And you can see that Pump was added very, very quickly, even though it's a Solana native token. They've gone and tokenized it and put it onto the HyperEVM blockchain. So that's that. At the end of the day, nothing's financial advice. There are risks, of course, but I think for me, it's worth putting in a little bit of capital as long as I've got a bit of an LP strategy. So that's Project X, and I'm pretty excited. Of course, we have to be aware of the risks. It is not VC funded, which is good for tokenomics, of course, but not like always perfect. Not doxed. However, it's a clean website. They do have audits, not open source or anything like that, so we can't see everything that's going on, but I think it's pretty decent and it's worth jumping into. Nothing is financial advice. Regardless, let me know your thoughts below. And remember, if you're jumping in, use my referral and let me know how it goes.